Welcome to Weber County Commission meeting, March 1st, leap year. We want to excuse Commissioner, not Ebert, because he's there. Commissioner Gibson is fetching his daughter, getting her ready to go on a mission. And she's at college, and so we went back to college, pick her up, bring her home. So we excuse him today. We have an invocation, and that's going to be by...
Apparently me today.
Mr. Ebert is going to give us our invocation. So we'll go there, Pledge Allegiance by Dominica Watkins, and then we'll have a thought of the day by Commissioner Ebert.
Our kind, gracious Heavenly Father, we humbly bow our heads this day and give thanks for the beautiful sunshine and for the opportunity we have to be here to serve Thee and serve this community. We are appreciative of the stewardship that our electorate has given unto us, and we ask that this day You may bless us to make decisions that are in the best interest and that are made for the right reasons. We're grateful for this country and for the liberties and freedoms that it affords us, and we ask that we will live in a manner that will allow us to truly appreciate it. We ask this day that You will bless our veterans and bless those in the military at this time. And we ask for these blessings in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just a quick thought today from Theodore Roosevelt. It's entitled Life's Best Prize. Far and away, the best prize life offers is the chance to work hard at work worth doing. Thank you.
Perfect. So I need to, a couple things. Dominica Watkins, she's a new assistant up in our office and works for Commissioner Ebert. And we are so glad to have her here. She's a military family, and they've lived all across the country, and they're stationed here. Her husband is a fighter pilot. So we have a couple of fighter pilots' wives in our office, so we love having the military and the presence there. So it's been a great thing. And I do want to make one comment for our law enforcement. We love our law enforcement. We support law enforcement. You've got two former law enforcement officers here. And as you watch the media and as you watch the news and you all watch what's going on out there, I'm telling you, these folks are truly doing what's in our best interest. And we need to be really careful on jumping to conclusions and with what's happened and not, and let's get the whole story out there. And so I just want to put our thoughts and prayers out to them and their families and how important they are to us. So. One last thought. So we get a little treat up here.
You got a better treat than me.
Well, I get this treat every time because it's sugar-free. So Shelley has been bringing these treats around for 3 years, and it's a little lifesaver. And she takes care of me because she knows I'm not supposed to be eating sugar. And so she gets these little sugar-free ones. So anyway, it's a great thing. So now we're going to jump into the business of the day. Okay, we're going to go to item E, consent items. Request for approval of purchase orders in the amount of $172,490.46. Number 2, request for approval to ratify warrants 401935 to 402151 in the amount of $2,047,706.29, dated 2/19/2016. Number 3, request for approval of warrants 402152 to 402486 in the amount of $1,602,889.29. Something like that. Number 4, request for the approval of ACH payments to U.S. Bank in the amount of $112,476.82 for purchasing card transactions made through the billing cycle ending January 15, 2016. Request for approval of ACH payments to U.S. Bank in the amount of $115,403.93 for purchasing card transactions made through the billing cycle ending February 15th, 2016. Number 6, request for approval of minutes of the meeting held on February 16th, 2016. Number 7, request for approval of new business licenses. Number 8, request from the Weber County Information Technology Department for approval to surplus old PCs, laptops, and monitors. Number 9, request from Weber Morgan Health Department for approval to surplus miscellaneous office equipment. Number 10, request to set the date of March 22nd, 2016 at 10 a.m. for a public hearing to amend the 2015 addendum to the 2002 zoning development agreement for Wolf Creek Resort by adding a concept development map to the addendum. Number 11, request for approval to ratify a contract by and between Weber County and Chadwick Booth and Company production for a 26 sponsorship spot on the county seat 2016 season. Number 12, request for approval of an amendment to change order number 3C2015-396. Wow. So Ricky, you want to talk to us about that stuff?
You bet. We have our check run from last week, which included 207 checks for about $2 million. 17% of that was, or $343,000 was for the monthly payment to the paramedics service. 17% or $339,000 was for January and February's payments to Weber Human Services. 16% or $323,000 was for tourism, related to tourism, and that was the ski bus payment for January and February. The ski bus payment as well as January and February payments to the Convention Visitors Bureau. So another 16% or $322,000 was for the transfer station, and that was for the shipment of waste, refuse. 6% or $118,000 was for library construction, and 5% or $104,000 was for the public defender. On to this week, we had 32 purchase orders for the amount of $211,000. These are broken up pretty evenly. 31% or $66,000 was for a new dishwashing machine out at the jail. 29% or $62,000 was primarily laptop replacements. It was for IT and it was primarily laptop replacements. 9% or $20,000 was for the library, and that was for books, shelvings, and locks. 8% or $17,000 was for the ice sheet for a compressor rebuild. 6% or $13,000 was for elections, and this was for 7 permanent ballot drop boxes that will be situated throughout in cities throughout the county. And that actually, we received a grant, a federal grant to pay for those. HAVA means Help America Vote Act. That's where those funds come from. 6% or $13,000 went to the health department for vaccines and for calibration gas for emissions analyzers. And then 5% or $11,000 is for the transfer station for Baylor supplies and EPA testing. Now, for checks this week, we had 335 checks for $1.6 million. Over half of that, or $840,000, 52% was for the medical and dental insurance for county employees. 13% or $202,000 was for RAMP, and that was almost exclusively for the Weber State Browning Center seat renovation. And then 5% or $84,000 was for Weber Housing Authority, and that was the monthly housing and rent payments. So that's all.
Wow. So I'll make a little note of that the ski bus payment is going to change with us passing the Prop 1. We will no longer have to pay that portion from county funds. That'll come from the Prop 1 money. So from Utah Transit Authority. So that's going to be a pretty neat little savings we'll have right there. I'm not sure exactly what the county's portion is, but it's around $70,000 a year, I think. So anyway, that's going to be exciting with that Prop 1 money to use that there. So Commissioner Ebert.
I'll make a motion that we adopt the consent items as read and explained.
I second it. Any more discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, we'll move right along. Action item F, number 1. Request for approval. Let's see Jared Anderson, but I don't see Jared. I know enough about it that we can probably move on. I read my paper on it, so we'll just request for approval for a contract by and between Weber County and Staker Parsons for construction of the 3500 West project. Did you have a chance to look at
Yep,
that?
I have no questions about the project moving forward.
Then let's do it.
I'll make a motion that we approve contract by and between Weber County and Staker Parsons for the 3500 West project.
I second it. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, Jared's on here for a bunch of, these are those contracts, Sean? Yes. The contracts for the, our road projects, the Skyline 12th and that there that we've awarded. So I didn't see anything in them unless you see an issue with them.
You know, I've just contacted Jared. He's asking if you can either approve those if you're comfortable, or you can table them. He was called up to the Ogden Valley for a situation, so
Okay.
he apologizes.
I don't have a problem moving forward
yeah,
with them.
Again, I'm comfortable with all the road projects and then
Number
the
4.
right-of-way projects also.
And you're number 4. Okay, so we'll just move on with them. So, number 2, request for approval of a contract by and between Weber County and Staker Parsons for construction of 12th Street Road widening project.
I'll make a motion that we approve that contract between Staker Parsons and Weber County for the 12th Street project.
I second it. Any more discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Number 3, request for approval of a contract by and between Wardell Brothers for the construction of the Skyline Drive project.
This is the only project I don't know a bunch about. Are you comfortable with that? as
I'm
far
really
as,
comfortable.
Board of Brothers. Okay, I'll make a motion that we.
They're putting pipes in today.
Okay, so we better approve this.
we probably need to.
Make a motion that we approve contract by and between the Wardell Brothers construction of the Skyline Drive project.
I second it. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Number 4, request for approval of a right-of-way contracts by and between Weber County and the following for the 12th Street project. Westinghouse Electric Company, Phase 1, Dorino and Mary Costellas, parcel number 172.
So the Westinghouse Electric Company, I know that we had a long negotiation with them, so I was happy to see that we came to a conclusion on that. So I'll make a motion that we approve the right-of-way contract by and between Weber County for the 12th Street project and the Westinghouse Electric Company for parcel 1 and the Dario and Mary Costello parcel 172.
And I second that. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Now, number 5, request for approval of a partial release of protective covenants, all of Lot 1, center at Far West. Are you familiar with this at all, or Douglas, I didn't see you back there. I'm sorry. Thank you, Doug. We've been missing people. Doug, it's all yours. Doug's going to talk to us about it.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thanks very much. If you need a visual, we could probably pull up our wonderful Weber GeoGizmo on the internet, but I think I can probably, hopefully adequately describe the area to you. You certainly are aware of the location of our Weber Industrial Park, right?
My backyard.
Yes. The Weber Industrial Park's boundaries are technically an unincorporated island in Weber County, surrounded by Pleasant View and Far West City. Years ago, when the park was created, there was also created some protective covenants that dealt with design and construction and kind of management and maintenance issues of the properties within that industrial park. And at that time, apparently, we just discovered this about a week ago, there was a fairly large boundary for the protective covenants, the CC&Rs, and included, of course, all of the properties within the industrial park. And as we just found out, also included some properties that are beyond the boundaries of the industrial park. The descriptions that are included in the partial release of protective covenants that are in front of you, I hope I still have my glasses. May I have to borrow yours, Commissioner?
Take mine, Doug.
I can see it okay. Parcel, I'm good, thank you. Parcel 1941 and 46, 19342 and 1, 1941 and 24, 1941 and 19, 1941 and 85, and 1941 and 86. I just wanted to get those on the record. These are included in the partial release of those protective covenants. From our perspective, we, as the authority that effectively has oversight of those protective covenants, these particular parcels should not be subject and should not be included actually within the boundaries of the industrial park or fall under the umbrella of these covenants. So it's not a contract. We're just releasing and removing those parcels, these particular parcels, from the CCNRs that were recorded years ago. And we're doing that. What caused or prompted this is the property owner wants to develop that property actually very soon. And in order to move their project forward, they'll need this release.
Okay. Are any of these parcels, would we ever expand in any of these parcels if we were looking at expanding?
Not the industrial park. And technically, these parcels are in Far West City.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, what's your pleasure?
One second here, I was on a different page. I'll make a motion that we approve the partial release of protective covenants for all of Lot 1 and Center at Far West.
I second it. Any more discussion?
May I ask you to modify your motion?
You may.
And our attorney may want to chime in. I need you to include in your motion, all the parcels that I referenced. If you could, please.
Usually do that.
They're not all listed on the agenda.
But they're listed on the paperwork I have,
Yes.
right? Yeah, I saw that. Okay.
I'll make a motion that we approve the partial release of protective covenants for all of Lot 1 and Center at Far West, up to and include the parcels that were stated.
Thank you, Commissioner. Appreciate the
Okay.
interruption.
I second it. Any more discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Passes.
Thank you
Number
so much.
6. Thank you, Douglas. Request for approval of a contract by and between Weber County and Recycling Waste Solutions, LLC, for transfer station recycling. Sean Wilkinson.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning, Sean.
This is an amendment to an existing contract we have with RWS currently. And the main thing that's changing is how the price of how we handle the recyclable materials, that is changing because currently RWS pays us not less than $10 a ton for the single stream recyclable materials. However, if those recyclable materials fall below $10 a ton, then the county ends up owing RWS that extra money, and we have to pay that off before the contract ends. But we were approached by Mr. Rasband from RWS, and the proposal is that we remove that provision from the contract. So he pays us, or we end up paying whatever the fair market price is for the recyclable materials, and that way the county does not end up having this extra money that we owe as part of the contract. So that is the change.
Sean, do you have any idea how much we subsidize recycling already?
I don't. Kevin McLeod has been working more on this. The price, though, has fallen drastically over the last few years, and we're not making nearly the amount of money that we were before.
So we're subsidizing a little bit more than we were.
Yes. I think we're still making money, but it's not much. It's almost a break even at this point.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. What's your pleasure?
I'll make a motion that we approve the contract by and between Weber County and the Recycling Waste Solutions, LLC, for the transfer station recycling.
I second it. Any more comments? Discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes. Moving on to number 7.
Thank you.
Thanks for taking that up.
Thanks for coming, Sean. You're welcome. Request for approval of a resolution of the County Commission of Weber County adopting the Weber County Pre-Disaster Mitigation Plan. And we have Mr. Lance Peterson
This
here.
may take a while. I'm gonna sit
Yep, let's go.
Good morning, Commissioners. I guess my reputation precedes me there.
Yes.
I'll keep it short and sweet. Last fall, we presented to you the draft Weber County Pre-Disaster Mitigation Plan. We opened it up for public comment for 30 days. We did that with all of the cities and all of the special taxing districts that were participating in the disaster planning process with us. We sent it to FEMA. They've approved it pending our approval. So we've come to you with a formal request to formally adopt it. And if you have any questions, I can answer them. We've got Eli working with all the districts to get them to sign off. I've been working with the cities, and we should have a really good response to this plan and be able to get all the resolutions back to FEMA, and then at which point they'll sign it off and send it back to us.
So during the public comment period, did you get any public comment?
Not really.
Okay.
Is there any type of fiscal note on the mitigation plan?
No. The just to clarify, the plan outlines strategies or projects that we as cities, counties, and special taxing districts can implement in order to mitigate, reduce the likelihood or impact of a disaster. And it's not required, even though it's stated in the plan, even though we identify these projects, they're potential projects if money resources become available. So there's absolutely no impact on our budgeting at all. If we can find grants, this allows us to be able to apply to FEMA for grants for another 5 years, for mitigation grants for projects, but there's no requirement.
So when will you update this plan again?
5 years. Every 5 years we have to update it. And hopefully then we won't have to go through a complete rewrite again, which is what they required us to do this time. Hopefully we'll just be able to update the historical data in it and any strategies that the cities or county would want to implement.
So I see that there's quite a few changes in some of the rules from FEMA and some of the ways for communities to get money in that. Has that been causing us any trouble here yet, or we feel pretty good?
No, FEMA is always a difficult, their grant process is very difficult. The process we went through with NRCS was much simpler 5 years ago. But no, it's still a hard process to go through. It's all online on the computer, and it's very complicated.
Good. Well, we appreciate what you do there, Lance. I know you've been totally involved with this for a lot of years. You worked for the state before you came with us, and so. What's your pleasure? It's a resolution, looks like. Do we need numbers on those or not?
Number 6.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we approve and adopt resolution number 6 from the Weber County Commission adopting the Weber County Pre-Disaster Mitigation Plan. And thank you, Lance.
Thank you,
I
Commissioner.
second that. Any more questions? If not, it looks like we're gonna have a roll call vote.
Commissioner Ebert?
Aye.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye. Thank you, it passes.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you. Good to see you, Lance. Number 8, request for approval of a resolution of the County Commissioners of Weber County appointing a new member to the Weber County Board of Adjustments. We've got one of our new employees, Rick Grover, here to present today.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Dazzle us.
At the present time, we're in need of another Board of Adjustment member, and we have recommended 3 individuals for you to consider. One is Bryce Frower. He has an attorney background experience. Neil Barker. He has experience as a business owner. And then Scott Kelly. He has sales experience. And so Bryce Frower has experience as an existing alternate member, and the other 2 are new applicants.
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Resolution number 7, is that correct?
Right.
I'll make a motion that we adopt resolution number 7, appointing Bryce Frower to be a member of the Weber County Board of Adjustments.
Thank you. I second it. Any more discussion on that?
Would you like to consider an alternate member where you're taking him as an alternate?
I don't have a preference.
I would make a motion that we would consider Neil Barker as an alternate to the Board of Adjustments. Did I say that correctly?
Perfect.
Okay.
Does that help you out? Take
Yep,
care of it?
thank you.
Okay. So we've got a resolution on the floor, number 7. It's going to be a roll call vote.
Commissioner Ebert,
Aye.
Commissioner Bell,
Aye. Thank you, it passes. Thanks for all you're doing there in planning. Our planning department's been extremely, extremely busy. They're building roads, and they're getting a master plan together for the Upper Valley, and they're just plain busy.
And
think
and I
all of us
appreciate
around the county.
that Rick signed a 10-year binding
Yes.
contract that he can never leave. We appreciate that, Rick.
We got a great department there. I want to recognize our 2 division directors are here. We got Marty Smith and Jennifer Graham, his assistant, his deputy. And then we got,
Sometimes I'm thinking that he's her assistant.
well, he knows, he's smart enough to know. So, no, it's been working great, and we're really happy to have Sean here with planning, so. One last comment before we jump into public. With legislative sessions going on, it's going to all wrap up next Thursday. So there's a lot of great things going on down there, and a lot of things that are very interesting, to say the least. So if you have time, you can watch some of that stuff or see some of the debates on the different things. So we're going to go to number G, public comment. Public comment. This is the public's opportunity to come up to this microphone and speak. I've got 2 members of the public sitting there. We're all members of the public, but I got 2 of you sitting there, and I know you really want to say something. Going once, going twice. Public comment period is now closed. We'll, number 8, we'll assign the Pledge of Allegiance, and we'll get that unless there's somebody that wants to do it. If not, Shelley will take care of that for next week. Number I, are we going to do number I, Dave? Okay. Number I, request for approval of a closed executive session to discuss strategy related to the purchase or sale of real estate, as well as a strategy relating to ongoing litigation.
I'll make that motion.
I second it.
Commissioner Ebert,
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye. So we are going to take a break for a minute. We're going to run in and do this closed session, but we will be back. You're more than welcome to wait here for us, to come back and adjourn, or you can not.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.